Albania is a small country in Europe with a growing economy. However, it relies heavily on other nations for financial support, trade, and assistance. Without these 10 countries, Albania's economy could crumble. Jobs would vanish, families would face hardship, and development would halt. This ranking from 10 to 1 examines the critical role of each country. We draw on data from 2025 to highlight the significant effects. Watch until the end to discover the most essential country for Albania's survival. If this information is useful, please like, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications for more insightful content like this. Let us begin the countdown. Number 10. United States. The United States provides vital aid, investments, and security to Albania. In 2025, U.S. foreign assistance totaled $38.5 million, focusing on economic growth, democracy, and disaster recovery. This funding supports projects like infrastructure repairs after earthquakes, helping to create jobs for over 10,000 people. Without it, Albania's government budget would shrink by 2%, leading to higher debt levels that could reach 70% of GDP. Remittances from Albanians in the U.S. amount to about 5% of the total $2.34 billion in remittances for 2025, or roughly $117 million. These funds help families buy food and pay for education. A shocking detail: in January 2025, Albanian exports to the U.S. were $4.5 million, while imports hit $8.9 million, showing a trade imbalance that supports local industries. Military aid through NATO, which Albania joined in 2009, ensures safety and attracts investors. Trade volumes are around $100 million annually. Factors for collapse include loss of aid causing unfinished projects, remittance drops increasing poverty by 10% for 50,000 households, and reduced security scaring away tourists. Overall, GDP could fall by 5%, pushing the economy into recession. Number 9. Canada. Canada is a major source of foreign direct investment for Albania. In 2025, Canada held 12.6% of total foreign direct investment, amounting to about $200 million from a record $1.58 billion inflow. This money flows into mining and energy sectors, creating jobs for around 10,000 workers and boosting exports by $50 million yearly. Without Canada, industrial output could drop 15%, causing unemployment to rise by 2%. A shocking fact: one Canadian firm invested $100 million in 2024-2025 to develop oil fields, which now produce 5% of Albania's energy needs, saving $30 million in imports. Remittances from Canada are 3% of the $2.34 billion total, or $70 million, supporting family education and health. Aid programs focus on environmental projects. Trade is small, but growing at $50 million. Reasons for collapse: foreign direct investment loss halts new factories, leading to 15% fewer jobs. Remittance cuts affect 20,000 families, raising poverty 5%. Energy shortages increase costs by 10%. GDP might shrink 1.5%, weakening the industrial base and causing widespread economic instability. Number 8. Netherlands. The Netherlands leads in foreign investments for Albania. In 2025, it provided 16.9% of foreign direct investment, or approximately $267 million out of $1.58 billion total. This supports energy and real estate, employing 15,000 people and generating 10% of electricity through wind farms built in 2024-2025. Without it, construction would stop, unemployment climbing 3%. Dutch investments saved Albania $50 million in energy imports last year by powering homes for 100,000 families. Trade reaches $200 million, mainly machines and tech imports. Aid helps with water management projects. Remittances are minor, but cultural ties boost business. Factors include investment loss reducing tech advancements by 20%, exports falling 4%, and energy crises hitting households with blackouts. Government revenue from taxes would drop 5%. Overall, GDP could decrease 2%, leading to stalled growth and potential collapse in key sectors like housing and power. Number 7. Kosovo. Kosovo is crucial for Albania's tourism and trade due to close borders. In the first half of 2025, 25% of 4.76 million foreign visitors came from Kosovo, or about 1.19 million people, spending $400 million on hotels and food. This supports 50,000 jobs in the service industry. Without them, tourism income would fall 25%. Tourism contributed 10% to Albania's GDP in 2025. The Kosovo share alone is 2.5%, worth $600 million annually. Trade volumes hit $300 million, mostly food exports helping farmers. Cultural and family ties strengthen business deals. Reasons for collapse: visitor drop empties beaches and shops, causing 5% unemployment rise in southern regions. Trade loss hurts agriculture, reducing exports 10%. Fewer cross-border workers send less money home. GDP might shrink 3%, triggering economic downturn and social unrest. Number 6. Switzerland. Switzerland ranks high in investments and aid for Albania. In 2025, it supplied 15.9% of foreign direct investment, or $251 million, building banks and tech firms that employ 12,000. This enhances financial services, making loans easier for businesses. Without Switzerland, the banking sector would weaken, credit availability dropping 15%. Swiss aid reached $24.9 million in 2024-2025, educating 100,000 children and improving skills. Remittances are 4% of $2.34 billion total, or $94 million, aiding family needs. Trade is $150 million yearly. Factors: foreign direct investment loss cuts 10% of new investments. Aid cuts harm schools, leading to poorer workforce. Remittance stops affect 30,000 households, poverty up 8%. Energy and finance disruptions could lower GDP by 1.8%, causing long-term economic fragility and collapse. Number 5. China. China is a top import source for Albania. In 2025, imports from China were $931 million, 10.7% of total imports, including machines and clothes for factories. This keeps costs low and supports manufacturing. Without China, shortages would raise prices 20%, closing businesses. China funded $300 million in road projects during 2023-2025, connecting cities and boosting trade by 15%. Investments in ports add $100 million. Trade deficit is large but essential. Reasons: import halt causes goods scarcity, inflation surging 15%. Job losses in trade affect 20,000 workers. Infrastructure delays slow growth. GDP could drop 4%, leading to widespread economic collapse from supply chain breakdowns. Number 4. Germany. Germany plays a key role in Albania's trade, aid, and tourism sectors. In 2025, exports to Germany reached $380 million, making up 7% of total exports, while imports stood at $400 million. German aid amounted to around $50 million, supporting job creation and green energy initiatives like solar projects. Without Germany, exports would decline by 6%, affecting manufacturing industries that employ thousands. Remittances from Albanians in Germany are about 5% of the $2.34 billion total remittances, or $117 million, helping families with daily expenses. Tourism from Germany accounts for 10% of visitors in early 2025, with over 476,000 Germans visiting in the first half, spending on hotels and attractions. Factors leading to collapse include aid loss, halting renewable energy developments, raising power costs by 10%, remittance drops increasing poverty for 50,000 families by 12%, and tourism reduction cutting revenue by 5%. Unemployment could rise 4% in export-related jobs. Overall, Albania's GDP might shrink by 2.5%, risking a major downturn in the manufacturing and service sectors. Number 3. Turkey. Turkey is a significant investor and trade partner for Albania. In 2025, foreign direct investment from Turkey was $122 million, or 7.7% of total foreign direct investment, focusing on construction and health facilities. Imports from Turkey hit $1.01 billion, 12% of all imports, including building materials and food. Without Turkey, construction projects would halt, leading to 20,000 job losses in the building sector. Turkey built hospitals worth $100 million in 2024-2025, serving 200,000 patients and improving healthcare access. Tourism from Turkey makes up 4% of visitors, with around 190,000 Turks arriving in the first half of 2025, boosting coastal economies. Remittances are smaller but support families. Factors for collapse: foreign direct investment reduction cuts overall investments by 16%, causing delays in infrastructure. Import shortages drive inflation up 10%. Job losses in construction raise unemployment by 5%. Exports to Turkey fall 8%, and government tax revenue decreases. Albania's GDP could fall by 5%, resulting in a collapse of the building and trade sectors, affecting urban development and daily supplies. 2. Greece. Greece is vital for remittances and trade in Albania. In 2025, remittances from Greece represent 25% of the $2.34 billion total, or $585 million, supporting 3% of the country's GDP. Trade includes exports of $730 million and imports of $845 million, mainly in agriculture and energy. Without Greece, families would lose key income, pushing poverty up 15%. Over 300,000 Albanians living in Greece send money to 200,000 households, preventing hunger and funding education. Tourism from Greece is 6% of the 4.76 million first-half visitors, with 285,000 Greeks spending on beaches and culture. Cultural ties enhance business. Factors: remittance halt affects household spending, reducing consumer demand by 10%. Trade loss cuts exports by 12%, hurting farmers and leading to food shortages. Tourism drop impacts service jobs. Unemployment rises 7% in border areas. GDP shrinks 4%, causing widespread family hardships, agricultural decline, and economic collapse from reduced cross-border activity. Number 1. Italy. Italy is Albania's top economic partner, essential for trade and remittances. In 2025, exports to Italy totaled $2.5 billion, 45% of all exports, while imports were $1.97 billion, 23% of total imports. Remittances from Italy are 44% of $2.34 billion, or $1.03 billion. Without Italy, factories would close, and 100,000 jobs in textiles and manufacturing would disappear. Around 400,000 Albanians in Italy support 20% of Albanian households with money that prevents poverty for millions. FDI from Italy is 10.9% of total, aid around $15 million, and tourism sees 23% of visitors from Italy, with over 1 million in the first half of 2025. Factors: trade disruption halts 50% of exports, causing supply chain breakdowns. Remittance loss leads to hunger and school dropouts. Tourism falls 10%, emptying hotels. Unemployment soars, government revenue drops 15%. GDP could plummet 15%, triggering total economic collapse due to heavy dependency on Italian markets, workers, and visitors. These 10 countries sustain Albania's progress through aid, trade, and more. Global connections are vital for stability. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe for additional rankings and facts. We look forward to your next visit.